Hi friends, welcome to the next session on programming made easy. So today we are going to see a very important and the most important topic, that is database programming using ODBC in MFC. So I cannot tell the importance of database programming because 99% of applications that we develop, they will use database one or the other type. Without database, there are very few applications that are actually developed and used. So today we will see how we can do the database programming using ODBC and using MFC classes. Even though I told in the last session that we have covered most of the basic topics, later I realized there are so many other topics that we still need to cover if you want to become a very good MFC programmer. So database programming is one such important session. So today we are going to see some of the basic things about database programming. Friends, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe to the channel to get notifications about my videos, and also click on the bell icon so that you get a notification immediately. Now let's start with what is database. So if you are very new to the software field, or if you are a beginner, or uh, whoever your background is, so everybody knows about a database today. Now what actually is database? A database is a collection of information that is organized so that it can easily be accessed, managed, and updated. So normally, if you talk about the most conventional databases, the data is stored in the form of tables where there will be rows and columns. Basically, there are two types of databases. One is the RDBMS database, that is Relational Database Management System. And also there is a non-relational database, what we call as NoSQL database. So this is not the session about what is a SQL database or relational database and what is a NoSQL database. That is a big topic by itself. So, but now you understand that a database is one where the data is stored predominantly in the form of tables, and each table will have a set of rows and columns. So in case of MFC, basically it supports two types of database programming or database connectivity. One is using ODBC, another one is using ADO. So what we are going to cover today is the ODBC database programming. So the MFC database classes based on ODBC are designed to provide access to any database for which an ODBC driver is available. So that means, so whichever the database that supports the ODBC driver will be able to work with that database, let it be Access database or SQL Server, Oracle, or Postgres, or any other database for that matter. So the basic or the main database connectivity happens through a data source name, or what we call as DSN. Okay. So basically a data source is a specific instance of data hosted by some database management system. So the data source is one which actually contains the data, or this is the source of the data which is nothing but an instance of a database. Now let's see what are the key functions of C database class. So C database class is the main class to work with the database through ODBC. Some of the main functions, one is open or OpenEX function. So these functions are used to establish a connection to a data source. So we'll be seeing practically how to create a data source. So you'll be able to understand in a better way. So the first step whenever you want to work with any database is to establish the connectivity to the database. So that connectivity will be established with the help of Open or OpenEX functions. Execute SQL, which executes a SQL statement. Now, predominantly we work with database in terms of queries, and this is nothing but SQL statements or SQL statements. You can think it of as a kind of programming script which can be used to either select, insert, modify, or delete the data in a database. So please refer to some online material about how to write the SQL statements. So the most of the time the statements that we use are, as I told, select, create, in, create or insert, then modify or update, and then deleting the data. So with execute SQL, we will be able to run SQL statements which does these operations. So once we are done with working with the database where we complete our database operations, then we need to close the connection to the database. Now why this is very important, and most of the times what people will not do is closing the database connection. Now why it is very important? Because a database connection is a resource and it is limited. So every database will have limited number of connections to it. That means the number of concurrent connections. So every time you connect to the database, one connection resource will be used. Say for example, if my connection pool, the pool is having the connections as 300, that means I can have 300 concurrent connections. Now if you don't close the connection to the database, it will be remaining as it is, and what will happen over the period of time, if you are not closing these connections, then there will not be any connections to connect the database. That's when your application fail to work. You will not be able to get the data or to modify the data to the database. So that is why it is very important to close the connection once you are done with your database activity. So bind parameters allows to bind the parameters before calling execute sequence. Suppose you want to, let's say you want to select some data depending on some where conditions. So bind parameters helps you to bind the parameters to your conditions. That means the parameters that you want to pass to your execute sequence statement, basically to your query. So begin transaction has starts a transaction. Now what is a transaction? The transaction is nothing but the set of statements that you want to run, and either all the statements should be run successfully, and if any one statement fails to execute, then the whole thing will be rolled back. Okay. So for example, assume you are having 3-4 tables which are all linked. Okay. And if you want to delete a particular record, you have to delete that record from all these tables. So if you don't delete the record in any of the table, then the data will not be deleted properly. So this is kind of right statement or scenario for you to put it in a transaction. Either the record should get deleted from all the tables, and if it gets failed to delete in any of the table, then the rollback should happen so that the database goes back to the previous condition. So that is called the transaction. So whenever you want to run, basically transaction will have more than one statement that will be run, and to whenever you have to run such transaction, we can use it, do it using begin transaction function, and commit transaction once the completes the transaction that was begun by begin transaction. So once the transaction is all the statements run successfully, then you call commit transaction to commit your changes to the database. Now commit is nothing but saving the changes to the database. Now another important class that is there is called as C record set. Now what is C record set? C record set represents set of records selected from a data source. So it is nothing but the data you extracted, or it is the data that you want to put into the database. So the record set constructor, which accepts the pointer to C database object, and on top with using the record set, then you will be able to perform various database operations. So add new prepares for adding the new record. Whenever you want to add a new record to the database, you can use add new function of the record set to prepare the data to be inserted into the database. Close will close the record set object. Delete deletes the current record from the record set. Okay. So edit. So whenever you want to update or you want to modify to the existing row, then we use the update statement. So in order to do that, we can use edit function of the record set, which prepares the changes to the current record. So add new means you are inserting a new record. Edit means you are modifying the existing record. So get field value, it's used to return the value of a field in a record set. So as I told, a table will have rows and columns, and in a row there will be many columns. So each column is a field. Basically it is your row number and column number, that is the get field value. So you can get the value of a particular row and column using get field value function. So get field value, either you can set it using the column index or by using the column name. Is EOF is end of the fields or the file kind of thing. So where it returns, basically you can use it for the navigation or to check if you have reached the end of the record set. Okay. So return non-zero if the record set has been positioned after the last record. That means when you reach the last record of the record set, then is EOF will return you the true. So move basically positions the record set to specified number of records from the current record in either direction. That means you can move forward or you can move backward. So along with move, there are various other functions like move next, move previous, then move last and move first. So those functions also you can use to navigate the record set. So open basically opens the record set by retrieving the table or by performing the query that the record set represents. So basically the open function is the one which actually retrieves the data and stores it to the record set object. So open will either accept you the table name that you want to retrieve data, or you can execute the query and then you will be able to extract the data from the single table or from set of tables. Update completes the operation of add new and edit. So whenever you call add new or edit function, that should be associated with update function to complete that particular insertion or the modification of the data. Now let's see practically how to work using ODBC. So here, before we start, so I would like to show you how to create a data source. So in order to do that, so go to type ODBC in your system, then you will get the ODBC data source administrator pop-up will come. Now whenever you want to add a new record, so what we can do is click on add, then you have to select what type of driver will be used to connect to this data source. So in this example, I'm going to use SQL Server. So I'm going to use the SQL Server driver. So as you can see, I'm having Postgres driver here. I'm also having SQL Server. So I'm going to use SQL Server here. Then you can give a name to the data source name. So I'll give it as MFC ODBC test source. Then you can select which database SQL server you want to connect. So you can connect if the database installed on your local system and you want to use that, you can select as local, or you can select your system name. If this particular database is installed in some other system, then you have to select that particular system name. So since the database is on my local system, I'm going to select my local system here. Then next, so here you have to select whether the authentication has to happen using SQL Server authentication, that is the user ID and the password that you have created within the database, or you want to use the Windows authentication in order to connect to the database. So but in this case we are going to use SQL Server authentication. So here for me the user ID and password, it is a student admin, and the password is also same. So it allows you to which database you need to connect. So you can have multiple databases installed in the same system. So you have to choose which database you need to connect. If you have multiple databases, you can choose the database that has to be connected. So since my default database is already students DB, so I'm not going to change it. So basically I'm going to use the same uh, database which I used in the REST API sessions. So you can refer to the REST API sessions to know the database and the table that we are using for the database interaction. So I'm going to keep everything as it is. So going to finish. So if you want to test the data source, you can here test it here. So it says it is working fine. We are able to establish the connection. Okay, then okay. So then you will see this data source getting added here. So this is the data source which we are going to connect for our practical session. Okay, so let it be here so that I can copy it later. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new application. We are going to create a small application. So how to connect to the database, how to execute a SQL statement, and how we can close the connection later. So I'm going to select the um, give the project name as MFC ODBC sample. So for this purpose, I'm just going to create a dialog based application. Next, I think we can keep all the standard features here. Finish. Now what I'm going to do quickly, I'm going to add few buttons and edit boxes. So first button is to connect to the database, and another button to disconnect from the database. So I'm going to add one edit control to enter the table name, and I'm going to add another edit control to show the number of records in this particular table. So let me quickly move them to the right. I'm going to add a static text to get clear clarification here. This is my table name. So to move the controls, you can just select the controls and just use the right arrow to move them together. And then I'm going to add another one, static text says this is my record. Okay, so in order to work with ODBC database, we need to include few header files here. Go to my dialog class. So we need to include header file. We need to include the ODBC ansg.h, and one more is kfxdb.h. Then I'm going to declare one database variable that is of type C database. So let me very quickly add the control variable for the edit control, which is of type string. So this is to get the table name. So it is value of type, it's a value type variable, and the variable name is underscore here table. Now how to add variable, what is how the data exchange happens. So refer to my previous video, that is on TDX and TDB, where I have explained in detail how the data exchange happens between the control and the member variable and vice versa. The description of the video, the link to the video is given in the description. Also, you can see it in my playlist about the video in under VC++ MFC programming. Now here, there is one interesting thing here. Now suppose you want to disable a particular control, all you need to do is select the control, and then there is an option called disabled. So normally it is false, you can make it true so that it gets disabled. That means user will not be able to enter any data, or the button or the control will be disabled. Now initially my disconnect button also will be disabled, so that also I'll make it true, because once I'm connecting to the database, then only I need to disconnect. And even my table name edit box, that also will be disabled initially. So now if we just run this, so except connect button, all others will be disabled. Now let us add functions to the buttons here. So you can see disconnect and all other things are disabled. Okay. So now first we'll write the function to connect to the database. So in order to connect to the database, basically we need to have the data source which we have already created. So now, so whenever you work with any resources, always it is better to use try catch. Okay. So try underscore database dot open ex. So as the input, I need to give my data source name underscore p esn equal to, so what is my data source name? So mfc underscore odbc test source. I'm going to put it here. And what is the user ID and password to connect to the database? So UID is equal to student admin, and password is also student admin. Then I'm going to give some properties here. C database, open read only, open or C database, no ODBC dialog. Now, if we give it as no ODBC dialog, then the dialog to enter the details in case this particular data source user ID or password is wrong, then the dialog will open where you will be able to select the database to connect. Okay. So we don't want any dialog to pop up, so we will give that as a no ODBC dialog. Now if I am able to connect to the database successfully, then I am going to enable other buttons, so that you can do it using get dialog item. So IDC button 2. So button 2 is my disconnect button. So I'm going to enable it. Enable window is the one which you can use to enable or disable a particular control. Okay. So I need to enable this. So I'll make it as 3. So here we are not only learning about the database programming, so you can also see here how to enable and disable the controls. So that also we are learning here. So then I'm going to enable my edit box to where I'm going to enter the table name. So this is my IDC edit 1, which also I'm going to enable. Now once the DB is connected, I'm going to make connect button as disabled because I need to, it's already connected to the database, so I don't want to connect again. So this I will make it as false. In case we get any exception, then we are going to catch the exception. This is CDB exception. My name, and we are going to put what is that exception. I'm going to use a message box. So the database error. And what is the error we are going to see? Okay. So then end catch. So this completes my code to connect to the database. So I'm using a data source name to connect to the database. If the connection is successful, then I'm enabling other buttons and controls and disabling the connect button. So let's add the functionality to disconnect the database. So as I told, it's always better to use try catch whenever we are working with the resources. So try catch. So if I'm able to disconnect, I'm going to disconnect the database by using close function. So if I'm disconnecting the database, so I'm going to enable and disable the controls again. But here it will be reverse now. So now this becomes false, and again true becomes false, and false becomes true. And so basically we just disconnected the database and we are enabling and disabling the controls accordingly. Now in the same dialog, so next to this, I'm going to add one more button here. So view toolbox, which will get the count and display it. This is get record count. So what we need to do first, we need to get the table name. So for that we are going to use update data, which basically moves the table name which is entered by the user to the corresponding member variable. Now we are going to form a query here. So cstring query equal to query. So in order to format any cstring text of a cstring object, so we have to use the function format. So we are going to use the query select star from percentage %s, comma underscore str table name. So this is my query. So select star will return all the records from the table, and the table is entered by the user. Okay. Now again try catch. Now we need to open the record set whereby executing the query. So we are going to declare a record set object, and here we will be passing the database pointer. So once it is created, then we need to open the record set. So just to print these parameters, that is forward only, that means we can navigate in the forward direction. Then my query, that is the query to be executed, and this we want as a read only record set. So now the record set is open. Now what we will do, we will be navigating through the record set, and we are going to update a particular variable, which is nothing but my count variable, equal to 0, and we are going to use a while loop, while not record set is eof. So eof is end of the particular record set. So till there is an end, we are going to navigate. So I'm going to increase my counter, and then I'm moving the record set to next. So once we are finished with the navigation, then what we will do, we are going to display the count in the edit box. I'm just going to use the same string object here for the formatting. So query.format and percentage %d, and this is our count. So now if you want to set the text to the edit box, all you need to do is get dialog item idc underscore edit 2. We have to call set window text function to set the text to the edit box. That's it. So we are done with the coding. So I'm just going to put my catch in case if my query fails or anything, any bad thing happens. Exception. That's it, folks. So we are done with the code. So here basically what we are doing, we are uh, we are forming the string SQL statement to select the records from the particular table which is entered by the user, and then we are opening the record set by executing this particular query, and we are using the navigation function to get the number of records, and then once we calculate the number of records, so we are setting it in the edit box. So let us run the application and we will see how this will work. So build the application. Okay, let's run and see what will happen. So as you can see, only connect button is enabled. So let me first connect to the database. So database connection is successful. So this connect button is enabled and the edit box is enabled. So I'm going to give this table name. So the table that I'm going to use is this student details. So you can see here I'm having 3 records in this particular table. So the same table name I'm going to put there. Okay, so click on get record count.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's get the count. Okay, it's coming 0. Let's see why it's coming 0. Okay, this n count is not getting incremented. So now it is done. I'll just disconnect the DB and again I will start. So let's see what will happen this time. So connect, it does the same, record count 3. Okay, so it's exactly matching with what is there in the database. So let's give some other table which is not there in the database. So I'll make it 1 to 3, 1 to 4, doesn't matter. And record count, so I'll get an error because this particular table is not available in the database. Okay, so it's a very simple application, but it teaches you a lot of concepts about the database programming. Now let's get back to the PPT. Okay, so now after seeing how it works, next get into some of the interview questions related to the database programming that we learned today. So what is database? A database is a collection of information that is organized so that it can be easily be accessed, managed and updated. So as I told, in most of the databases, the data is arranged in the form of tables and every table will have rows and columns. Now, what are the steps involved while working with database? So, key steps, there are 3 key steps. One is you have to connect to the database, then you have to execute the query, and then close the database connector. Now, what is the base class for working with database using ODBC connectivity? It is C database. Now, what are the functions to connect to a database? There are 2 functions. One is open and another one is openex. Now, how to close the connection to the database? By using close function of the C database class. Now, what is a record set? A record set represents a set of records selected from a particular data source. So, data source is the one which we are connecting to work with the database. Now, how do you navigate the record set? So by using move first, move last, move previous, move next functions we can use. So normally these functions are used along with is BOF and is POF functions. Now this is a small assignment for you. So the UI looks pretty much simple. So what I want you to do, the change is instead of navigating through the record set. So I want you to get the number of records using query statement, SQL statement, and then you have to use get field value function to get the number of records in that particular table. So I hope you will be able to do it. If you face any difficulties, do comment, put in the comment so I'll be able to help you out. So thank you so much for watching the video. So if you like this video, do like it, share it, and give me the comments what we should improve here, and also subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed. Also forward it to many of your friends who are really interested to learn about C++ and FC programming. So once again, thank you so much for watching. So see you all till the next session. Take care. Bye bye. Stay home. Stay safe.